All right, welcome folks to a special segment of 27 Degrees. Last episode, we brought you our angle on Google Workspace for the public sector, and next episode, we'll be diving deep into Workspace for education. Today's conversation is with Virtru. Virtru is one of SADA's alliance partners that specializes in encryption and really works with us closely on building solutions for those two verticals, public sector and education specifically, on a regular basis.
I don't think it could come at a better time to have this discussion, with Google having just launched client-side encryption for Workspace. So of course, organizations have always had the ability to encrypt their data at rest and in transit by default using Google Workspace. But now Google are extending that capability even further to allow customers to manage their own encryption keys. And Virtru as a third-party provider is a core part of that solution. I think it's amazing that more organizations will be able to take advantage of the benefits of Workspace by Google stepping up and providing the tools that these organizations need in terms of regulation and compliance. Isn't that great, Troy?
Yeah, Workspace for everyone. That's what we're all about. On a more personal note, you'll notice that my background has changed, both since the conversation that you'll be seeing with Andrew from Virtru and from our past episodes. It's been a busy month for me moving homes here in Toronto, and I gotta say, I couldn't be happier that I no longer have to record these episodes and work on a daily basis from my living room. So that's good news for everyone. Here's our conversation with Andrew Lynch from Virtru, including a short demo of their technology in action. Enjoy. Our next guest is the VP of Sales at a trusted Google and SADA partner. He's been there for going on 4 years, and prior to that, he held multiple sales leadership positions in companies such as RainKing, ShopKeep, and Gartner, to name a few. He hails from Washington, D.C., so we know he knows public sector well. We're so excited to have you on the show today to chat about this with us. Andrew Lynch from Virtru. How are you, my friend?
Hey, good, thanks. How are you guys?
Yeah,
well.
Amazing. Thanks for joining us, Andrew.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We wanted to have Andrew on because Virtru is a data privacy platform. Their mission is to unlock the power of data by helping create a world where it's always under your control. So where are we hearing in the public sector today are some of the major projects or concerns around sharing data and encryption, Andrew?
Yeah, it's a great and I think very relevant question. I think it starts with the fact that we all know that the world has changed, and the need to be able to easily share information and collaborate securely is more relevant today than ever before, and I don't see that changing for some time. And the public sector has seen a huge increase in this over the past year, obviously. We're continuing to hear organizations not only need to continue to meet compliance, but to do so in a manner and a workflow that's easy for their employees, their partners, and their constituents. Overall, we know they have really important jobs that they need to get done, and sharing information shouldn't hinder that. Some organizations have sped up their cloud adoption strategy. Others have already gone through this. Lots of others haven't even started. No matter what sort of environment that they're in, it's important that they're each taking into consideration the risks associated with moving to the cloud and how they're securing their data. In the public sector specifically, there are several important regulations and compliance requirements that need to be considered when sharing sensitive data. And we all know that the cloud is so powerful and the benefits are clearly there, but due to some of these requirements, organizations may need to still have processes in place for sharing data or not being able to that are not allowing them to really unlock those true benefits of the cloud. Encryption and key management and having a strong strategy there when it comes to this is really what we've been able to help with.
Super valid points. I think, not being able to unlock the benefits of cloud has got to be such a frustrating position to be in. And we do hear about a lot of crazy workarounds in order to accommodate those regulations. Are there any specific examples you could share or just broad examples that you see?
Some common examples would be for the Health and Human Services Department, perhaps needing to share sensitive health information. That could be something like a COVID test result. Many of them are still needing to fax that information to meet compliance such as HIPAA. It could be the police department or the court system needing to store certain types of criminal justice information still on premise or hand delivering it. And of course, data sovereignty continues to be a concern around how data is encrypted and how you're able to manage your own keys. These are just a few examples where we hear that there are processes in place to ensure compliance, but a lot of these can slow down that communication. And when you're considering the public sector, a lot of that then can directly slow down care. Some other instances that we hear from our customers is that these processes a lot of times will put pressure on employees to remember some of these policies about what can and cannot be shared when they're used to on a daily basis using such powerful collaborative tools like Gmail or Drive. So Virtru's been able to enable those organizations to share that data over email and through files and still meet compliance through our encryption and key management.
I'd love to hear maybe a little bit more about, if you could share for our viewers, a little bit more about how Virtru helps companies protect and control that sensitive information. And maybe you could tell us like how Virtru got started and just a little bit more background on the company that you work for.
Yeah, definitely. So we're doing this by providing encryption over data that travels with it wherever it goes. And what makes that possible is the trusted data format, or the TDF, which was invented by Virtru, and it's an open standard for securing all kinds of content and essentially adding a protective wrapper around it. This then allows for persistent protection and control over your data at all times, no matter what application it's residing in or being shared from, whether that's an email or a file or another SaaS application. We have over 6,000 customers to date. We partner with Google and SADA as premier partners and the recommended encryption provider. And we're working with small businesses up to large enterprise deployments, and of course within the public sector. We were started in 2012 by two brothers, John and Will Ackerley. Our CEO, John Ackerley, was a White House policy advisor during 9/11 and directly saw how secure data sharing and collaboration could have helped connect some of those dots and ultimately save lives. And his brother, Will Ackerley, similarly experienced some of those frustrations in the intelligence community and actually created the trusted data format, or TDF, so that data could be confidently shared to collaborate across organizations.
That's amazing, Andrew. I feel like I really understand some of the challenges that the public sector goes through in terms of regulation and compliance. And that's some amazing background on the company and how it developed. Are we able to see the product in action now?
Definitely. We would love to show you and the viewers.
Sweet. Demo time.
So you can see I just logged into my normal Gmail as I normally would as an employee. I'm not going anywhere different. Just notice I have these extensions installed. We have the same functionality for Google Drive and the same seamless integration. I already just have a sample email that I'm going to send that needs to be encrypted. In this scenario, I have Virtru already turned on. I can include attachments as I normally would. I'm going to send it to someone first that does have Virtru installed. This would be sort of a example of an internal email or another vendor or partner that uses Virtru. Before I send it, I can add additional control policies like disable forwarding or setting expiration dates, as well as add additional controls over that attachment, for example, limiting someone being able to download it, or add persistent protection over it, which is always going to ensure that the original sender of this file has ownership over it. So when I'm ready to send, I just hit send as I normally would. This message was encrypted in draft form before it was sent, and I just sent an encrypted email with Virtru. Now just to show you what it looks like for that recipient who has Virtru installed. Notice this person also has the extension installed. Here's the message here. I'm just going to click it. It's going to seamlessly decrypt in line in Gmail. And so in this example, this message from the sender all the way to recipient has been end-to-end encrypted.
So efficient. It's wild.
What I particularly like about it is that it doesn't matter what end system you're using.
Yeah, and that really gets back to what we were talking about earlier, where when you're emailing someone something so important as health information, for example, you want to make that process as easy as possible for them. They want to open and read it as soon as possible and not have to jump through additional hoops.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love that flashy animation that the user gets to see when Virtru encrypts or decrypts a message. That's definitely a nice user experience for sure.
Yeah, offers the peace of mind. It's the feeling that it's working. That's key. Andrew, thanks so much for coming on to the show today to chat about public sector with us. We need more and more partners focused on security in this space, and it's great to hear about all the benefits that Virtru offers. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Incredible insight there from Andrew on the Virtru solution and how it can help organizations. Oftentimes when we introduce new security functionality, it can often come with a fine balance or a compromise between usability and security. And what I love so much about the Virtru solution is that you can tell that the user experience has been top of mind when designing the solution. As Andrew demonstrated with such a slick integration with Gmail, it really feels just like a natural extension of the tool. This solution, partnered with the client-side encryption that Google have launched officially for Workspace, shows really an acknowledgement by Google of the complex regulatory requirements that these organizations have, and that Google are willing to step up and create technology solutions to meet these requirements.
I love that Virtru sort of aligns with that same theme that we've been exploring in our past episodes, Rowan, where, we're seeing Google really across Workspace roll out updates and improvements that continually seem to make the technology disappear. Really across all Google technology, we see that, right? So that's awesome to see Virtru and a lot of the partners in the ecosystem aligning with that and mirroring that sort of same energy. If you enjoyed today's conversation, we have great news for you as well. That Virtru is going to be featured on the next episode of Cloud and Clear. That's SADA's podcast that delivers expert insights and resources around all things cloud. And you can catch that or our past episodes of 27 Degrees at sada.com, or you can head over to SADA's YouTube channel, click subscribe, turn on notifications, and you'll never miss any of the great video content that we put out as a Google Workspace partner here at SADA. That's it for today's episode. We want to thank you for tuning in, and we can't wait to see you in 2 weeks when we explore Google Workspace for Education on a full episode. Take care. Way better.
Yes. And we're live. Me. Honestly feel like Sonic the Hedgehog. This is outrageous.
No, you look great.
All right. Not too bad.
What do you
not too
think?
bad.
You want to go again?
Yeah, we can try again for sure.
Do you have time?
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention my partner, Amanda, or anything.
No?
I don't know. What do you think?
It's funny.
Yeah, it's all right. All right.
Yeah, and also, Troy, can you say the Google Cloud Platform Marketplace or GCP Marketplace? Is that okay?
Yes.
Cool.
So if you could just remember those points, that would be great.
Hey, recording is live. This is Virtru segment for public sector episode. Don't need to say that. It just sounds official.
Did you go for the wave at the end?
Oh, yeah. I always do.
Yeah? And I'm just staring at them like a maniac?
And you're just like this.